Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary for the BTB network. The score in the background is not important today because this is more of a semi-competitive lobby. It's taking place on the map Skyline. It's on Infinity Slayer, unfortunately. Not a big fan of Infinity Slayer, especially on a map like Skyline. It's very close quarters. There's a lot of bolt shot usage going on and a lot of Infinity Ordnance working to people's advantage. And usually Skyline is a map I have a massive amount of trouble with, but luckily I managed to play a little bit more intelligently and I managed to focus, and I feel like it paid off in the end. I'm playing with a full team, which is quite hard to come across in Halo 4 nowadays, but I'm playing with members of the Halo community, Lurker Zero, Delementary, and Ubernick, who is also a member of the BTB network. They all have YouTube channels, and I'm sure if you search them up, you will find them. But this gameplay in particular, it was kind of useful having these players on my side, because a lot of the time Skyline, you know, it can be super frustrating when you don't have teammates to clean up the kills. There's a lot of escape routes on Skyline, and if you're playing with a team who doesn't know what they're doing, people are just going to get away left, right, and center. But Delementary is an intensely good player, and an intensely good team player as well, so props to him. But I had a topic that I wanted to discuss with you guys today, and it's regarding something that's been on my mind as of recently. And Halo 4, one of its biggest struggles as a game was that it couldn't sink its claws into players. It couldn't keep players dedicated for a long stretch of time. Players pretty much dipped interest. And why is it that Call of Duty is still able to attain these numbers and Halo has such a hard time doing so, or at least Halo 4 did? And Call of Duty, you know, for the most part, it doesn't really matter about whether or not, you know, you're a really good player or a really bad player. A lot of the time, playing matchmaking can be a bit of a roulette chance where, you know, you still have a chance of having a fun, exciting game, because that's what the game is trying to do. It's an everyman's game. It's a, however much time you have, you will still, you know, if you play a couple of rounds of Call of Duty, you're going to get at least one game that was fun and satisfying. Halo is not necessarily that sort of game. Halo's the sort of game that you could put hours upon hours upon hours into and still come up short with the results, because there's players who have just put years upon years of time into the game, playing since Combat Evolved, and have a plethora of Halo skills up their sleeves and play on an extremely regular basis, and it's quite hard to overcome that. And one of the things that I think was lacking from Halo 4 was resources to improve. Now, obviously, if you're watching YouTube right now, you're probably aware of the fact that we're quite fortunate in the fact that we have a lot of commentators to watch. There's a lot of tips and tricks guys, people like BBK Dragoon, people like Genesis Rider, who are willing to offer up support in a professional and effective manner. But not necessarily every player who jumps on Halo 4 and bought it from Game or GameStop and bought it at launch is familiar with the way in which YouTube works. Maybe it's too overcomplicated, maybe they just haven't explored that avenue, they're just all about the games. And, you know, a lot of players get to this point where they meet a brick wall with Halo, and they don't necessarily know how to improve. Players just feel like they're too high a level above them. And this is when players decide to do one of two things. They either A, go, how can I improve? Maybe it's worth seeking out YouTube, seeking out videos, seeking help from friends, or trying to find a mentor to improve at the game and, you know, find strategies to become better at the game, or they give up altogether. For a lot of players, when they get on, you know, Halo as a game, if their only resource to improve is by getting destroyed in matchmaking constantly, it can be extremely demoralizing, and you can lose self-respect for your own gameplay. It can be really hard to bring yourself up and say, yeah, I'm going to play another game, and I'm going to get wrecked for the 10th time in a row, when you've got, you know, no strategies and no insider information. You're just a player on your own. You go into matchmaking solo, and you don't have anyone to tell you why X situation happened, why Y situation happened, why you were punished so hard, where you should have been positioning wise. And what if within the actual Halo game there were tips and tricks at your disposal within the actual game to help you improve and enhance your gameplay? So I've come up with two straightforward solutions as to how I think this could be achieved, and I think they're extremely easily doable, and I think they would help both the community and Free4Free as developers, and are not too hard to pull off, honestly. The first of which is, I think that CSR level 50 gameplays could be accessed from a certain menu option within each specific playlist. So for example, if you were really struggling with doubles, you could look at the weekly gameplays that had just been uploaded at a level 50 basis and say, right, I really want to learn doubles tactics, I'm going to watch the most recent CSR 50 gameplay. And this would be something for the CSR 50 players to strive for them to say, oh, I really want to get my gameplay up on there, I thought I did intensely well in that gameplay, that's going to go up on the 50s playlist. And these are just taken naturally by Free4Free, you don't necessarily have to upload them, or maybe you could upload them for submission and then Free4Free decide. I'm not really sure how that would be done. Maybe it would be randomly generated 50 gameplays. Whatever's easiest for them, I suppose, and then these would be put into a pool where you could easily click on a menu option and say, right, well, I'm really struggling with snipe, my snipe has been terrible, what is it that players do that I'm not doing? Or maybe you're a level 45 and you don't see how, you know, you feel like you're so close to that level 50 gameplay, but you just don't see what you're missing, and it's just that tiny bit of positioning that you're lacking, that tiny bit of teamwork, that tiny bit of callouts, and you can easily access it in the menus. The second of which I would say is there should be an option where pros are able to submit commentated gameplays into the menu, and they say, right, I have this insanely sick gameplay of Team Slayer, I want to commentate it, I want to upload it, and Free4Free should, like, surely, you know, the pros would be begging to be doing it. They'd be saying, yes, I want that exposure, I want people to know how sick I am, I want people to see this insane gameplay that I just got against this other pro, this scrim that I just played, etc. You know, you see a lot of this on YouTube. Ambush were doing it for a while on their YouTube channel. They were putting up gameplays that they self-commentated, and there was a lot of insight going on there. Pistola's gameplay, for example. And if the pros could do that, it would be beneficial to the pros and to Free4Free, because players would have those resources to improve as a player without necessarily having to just get continuously destroyed. And a lot of the time, continuously getting destroyed, it's not necessarily the most beneficial thing, because you can't necessarily learn every single little bit of insight into the metagame, into decision making, just by getting destroyed. It can be quite hard to pick up on that sometimes, and a lot of the time you need a good strong advisor, a good team mate to bring you through this, and having YouTube videos at your disposal to be able to watch this and learn from it, I don't know, I think it would just be, I think it's a no-brainer, that's what I'd say. And honestly, matchmaking can just be such an uphill battle. For me especially, it's something that I was so beneficial when I stumbled across YouTube and learned there were people doing this. You know, I didn't even know it was a thing at first, and I think a lot of people think the same way. They think, why would anyone dedicate a large amount of time of their own free time to commentating a game, to dissecting a game, and to be giving out advice? So it's something that a lot of players don't even seek out a lot of the time. They're like, oh, well, I don't even know if those resources exist. I don't even know if that's something that people do. I didn't even know you could record gameplay, for example. And obviously, you know, YouTube is becoming the big thing, and, you know, broadcasting, gameplay, Twitch, etc. It's something that's becoming a big part of YouTube, and why would the developers not want to get in on that? Why would they not want a piece of pie so that they could have a bit of the spectators? They're getting, you know, they're taking away from YouTube views and bringing it to their own game. Yeah, I don't know. It's just both sides of the coin seem so beneficial, and I hope you guys see where I'm coming from with this idea. A little bit rambly, but, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay as well. I've been Modest Major. Peace out.